age home and an orphanage and all that sort of thing wrapped into one, run by an order of nuns and sisters who were not Catholic, but they were nuns anyway, and which was directed by a very famous lady, Maria Raffaelova, who I Googled her, so she's on there, and the big Baptist institution, all the rest of it. They will hide you, but, and my mother says, I guess they says, I can't eat the ham or something like this. They said, there are no conditions. They're risking their life to take you in. Don't tell what you can eat, what you can't eat. Right? That's what it is. And she ended up going there, and once again, you have to go through the business on the train, and they said, what's your name, and you don't look like the person in the picture, and all that, and every time you do this, you have the two gendarmes there with the bayonet standing next to them, and your heart drops between your whatever, and you go through 1,000 deaths. And but she finally got there, and when she came there was a nun waiting at the train station, Sister Margaret, and she immediately said, give her a rough thing. She says, if your paper's not in order, we're going to have to send you back, because we could all get killed. And we are hiding other Jews there. Understand? So everything has to be 150% or else. But when she actually came there, the head Mother Superior, I guess you call it, this Mary Raphael, came out, she saw in the middle of winter, on December 27th or something like this, in the freezing cold, a mother with a baby, all the rest of it, and she said, because they were very religious, and she said, this is a little Moses, being sent away from Pharaoh, and who knows what great things the Lord has in store for him that he entrusted into our care. I said, we have to do whatever we can do. That's what happened. And so they took her in, and they gave her a room by herself, obviously for a few days to rest up, but then the police called. And I don't know if you know, in America you don't have to do this. In Europe you have to register all the time in every town with the police. That's how it goes. At least in those days. I think in many countries still today. It's not like over here. Okay, here they don't need to do it. They have your social security card, so they can follow you if they want. Over there, they have to check in with the police, and especially in the wartime, they're checking the police looking for Jews and other undesirables. And so, what do? Now, meanwhile, her friend Paula had accompanied her to this Catholic girl, took her to this Protestant institution, and she told them right away, says, "These are bad papers. You got to get her better papers." And they said, "What are we going to do?" So she did something with the papers, and she got her new, better papers, and she gave it to one of the nuns, and in order to be Zrizas, this nun went ahead and ran right away and presented it to the police. There's one problem. I never showed my mother the papers. So what's your name? Who are you? How were you born? It doesn't do any good. If you walk in with the passport of somebody else, you don't know even who you are. Right? And sure enough, 2, 3, 4 days or whatever, police say, you have to come in and pick up your papers. And it's like that. And they're all dying 1,000 deaths. And all the nuns get together, and they said, we're going to have a big prayer session. Everybody got on their knees to daven all the time when she's going to the police station with one of the nuns to accompany her. And, what's your name? And this nun was obviously some kind of a Heberman, as we would say today. So I don't know exactly. I didn't quite understand the story. But she somehow got a hold to see what the name of the passport is and tell to my mother or something along those lines. The bottom line is, she says, what are you bothering this lady for? We know her since she's a baby. She grew up in this orphanage, and all that. And the guy said to her, he says, sister, I know you never tell a lie. Is this the truth? Do you swear? And she said, yes, I do. Yes, I do. He said, okay, then I'll let her go. You say so. Then I said, no. And so you ducked that bullet. But meanwhile, they gave her a room away from everybody else because she didn't want to sit there and eat ham with everybody, so give a room with everybody else. All of a sudden there was an old lady, a rich lady living in that place, and she says, how come she gets a room and I don't get a room? They said, how come they serve her in the room? And anyway, what's a baby doing here? And what about this? That's all you need, people yakking and talking with all kind of questions like that. That's all you need. And the result is that every day brought its own crisis. So there's no such thing as being off for a minute. And then to make matters even better, about 2 weeks or so afterwards, the Gestapo decided to set up headquarters in the room right next to hers. So, and what are you going to do? And, she panicked. She said to the Mother Superior, I got to move to another room. He said, no, if you move to another room, it's worse. Because then they'll say, why is she moving? And they immediately said, what's the lady doing here? This is an old age, and what's the lady doing with a baby? And they said, well, you need help. She does the laundry and things like this. You know, it's wartime. We need everybody we can get. So everybody was lying like a trooper.